So good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is. We're going to begin this episode with a. We're going to have to split these into two. These are the boosters that go down the leg, and because they are quite large. So what we're going to do, we will lay this flat, and this is the top piece. I say this over and over again. Most of these parts are quite boring on their own. It's only when they start to combine with the other pieces that they look really fab. So this is, you can see we've got some dovetail joints there. You can see there's something coming on the bottom, and then obviously something coming on the top. Clearly labelled with an L, and then you can see at the top there's a hole which will be for a magnet. I'm working on the basis that this program is showing my my cursor so that you'll be able to see. So it's an 8-hour and 2-minute print. So this is the final piece. It's come out really nice. Well, actually it hasn't. It's come out with a little warp, but I don't think that's going to be a major problem. I'm trying to find something flat. So as you see, there's a bit of a warp there. But to be honest with you, this is going to be the underneath. So what's going to happen, there'll be a piece come in the top. You see, this is going to go in. There's your magnet hole. That's going to line up with that magnet. So it's going to sit round about there. There will be a piece on the top with another magnet hole. There'll be two legs. And you see they'll have holes in the bottom to line up with this bit. And then you've got two channels here where you've got two supports. So obviously once you glue this with the dovetail joint, then you'll add these supports. That's going to add a lot of strength, and this is simply going to go in. It will slide into the holes there, the tabs there, and it will clip down just in a very similar way to this horseshoe there, and then there will be a silver piece go in there eventually, and some additional little bits. So there you go. That is a workable print. It's not perfect, as I say, because of the warp, but I think once I've got the other piece in, we put the support in. This is all going to sit. The supports underneath as well, they act as channels, so that's going to sit in there and won't rock. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to keep it quite simple. Obviously where I've been sticking things in, I've still got little gaps, so I'm just going to go around all of those with 3D pen. There's a few gaps down here, and it's just more belt and braces than anything else. I mean, this is on hard, but I just think if I 3D pen it, it's going to make it a little bit better. And then I'm going to let it all set. Next week, once this is completed, we'll get on. We'll put the magnets in there, and what we'll do then is we can then sand all of this down. We'll bring this down. We'll bring this down, and the same on the horseshoe. We'll give that little sand, and then we can just make sure everything fits absolutely perfect, and then we can, you know, in a later week we can start to prepare it. So here I go. Pen should be warmed up, not quite yet. Once that's warmed up, I'll crack on with it. Okay, that actually didn't take quite as long as I thought it was, so I'll actually do the first stage of sanding today. So what I'm going to do, I've got some P80 grit sandpaper. Now these numbers work backwards. You would expect the higher the number, the more, I don't know, I always thought the higher the number the rougher it was, but this is really rough. This is P80, and then what we'll do over time, we'll work up. See what ones I've got. I've got a P180 here, a P400, P60s, P80s, and we'll work all the way up to, well, P400 will be the last one that we use, and this is very fine, and we'll just keep working it up. Basically the first sandpaper is just to get all these rough edges off and just get it semi-smooth. You know, then we'll work up to the next stage, and hopefully by the time we get to about 400 we'll have a lovely shiny finish. If that doesn't do the job, then we'll just have to keep working up to an even finer sandpaper. Right, so I'm going to crack on with this then. Okay, so I got no idea how that footage came out. Obviously you'll already know, but I was kind of watching the footage every now and again, the monitor, and I could see it wasn't keeping up with me. Right, that was really hard work. So I've decided to only do the top half. I can't feel my hand anymore. So what I've essentially done is just taken down the bits, just to sort of smooth it a little bit. If you can see this bit now compared to say this bit, you can see I've just taken it down roughly level. I did actually switch to a P40 sandpaper, but what I found with both sandpapers was if you spent too long on one area, it started to warm the plastic up, and with this being PLA, I didn't want to do that too much, so it's best to sort of switch areas, keep going different places. This bit was a bit problematic because it's so thick and heavy to do, and as you can see, it's not. Some of the bits are still a bit pitted, so I'll keep having a bash at this, and then this bit is going to take a bit more to do. The bottom bit's going to need doing. The other problem I had, when you put in the horseshoe, you can see on that side it's gone in absolutely perfect, and there it's okay, but on the other side it's not quite gone in, and I think you have to kind of jiggle it a bit to make it go in, and then it will actually go in. So I think what that is possibly here. Actually, it could be there. I just think that these little lips here aren't quite going in. So I either need to just smooth these down a bit more, and that's probably going to have to be done with a hand tool rather than an electric tool, but it could just be these bits need taken down, but they will fit. In fact, actually that's just gone straight in. Can you believe that? So what I actually want is for you to throw it on, and you see that it's not quite gone in there. So I want to get it to the stage where you throw it on and it will end up looking like that without the need to push it down, but that's fine, that'll just be rubbing along. So right, so I'm going to call it quits for a week, let my poor old hand rest. We'll get on with some more bits, obviously, just put together some pre-recorded bits, and then I will see you next week when we will finish this bit off. We'll do some magnetizing, we'll have to sand that down as well, and then we'll hopefully carry on with the bottom leg. Still loads and loads to do to the leg. I mean, we haven't even started the feet yet, so we are probably going to be working on this for a long time, and pretty soon the body, the next body ring will come in, so we might take a little break and just do a bit on the body. But yeah, so yeah, it's gone really well. I'm happy, and yeah, brilliant. Okay, so we're going to finish off this week with a really nice easy print. This is ring 21. It's going to be quite hard to see, but basically it's a flat panel, as you can see there. It's got 21 written on it. Now I personally would print it this way round. You've got some holes in there on the bottom, and those holes go well, they look like they go all the way through. They actually don't go all the way through. They should go all the way through. But you've also got these two little recesses. These are for connectors later on. So I think, you know, the less detail you've got touching the print bed. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to flip it over, and I'll tell you why I'm going to flip it over. It shouldn't be a problem, but you see there's a little lip there. And I think that will make life a lot easier, and that will make, you know, it'll print without supports. But yeah, I think that'll be okay. And it's really going to be a really quick print, only 1 hour and 38 minutes. Okay, so this is the print. This one didn't come out too well. I've got to be honest with you, I'm going to do a reprint. As you can see, it's got a bit of a warp to it. When it first came off the print bed, I just thought, oh, I might get away with that with a heat gun. But to be honest with you, it's come out a bit dodgy. So I am going to reprint this in my own time. But this is basically the print. It's got 21 written on the bottom. And what it's essentially going to do is link up with last week's piece. It'll go in something like that, and that will create a little hole, and obviously there'll be a panel go over the top. So yeah, that's it really. Okay, so this week we start off with 51.73, adding £10 to that. Now the left leg booster, it costs £1.61 according to Cura, but Cura doesn't take into account the electricity costs and things like that, wear and tear on the printer. Normally I take my costs from Octoprint, which calculates all sorts of things. So what I've done is I've taken the cost of 163, added about 10% to it, and I've used that as my basis. The LEDs we always cost at 25p, and ring 2 piece 21, again I've taken the cost from Cura and then added about 10%. So that brings our spending this week to £2.95, which is absolutely fantastic. And that brings our balance up to 58.78. So yeah, next week we are going to do some more to the left leg and the booster. And I think what we'll do the week after, we'll take a little break from making, and I'll tell you about something very exciting that I've bought.